What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I am Colexner McHenry, and today we're going to be taking a look at advanced playoffs in North America, ESEA. Yes, it is this again. We're doing this over live on the Twitch stream, so if you all want to go and follow the Twitch stream, go and hit it up. The link will be in the description, twitch.tv/exner. Go and show some love over there. But we do have it. This is a couple takings in the making so far, and also it's going to be a little bit scuffed. We had a tough time figuring out how to exactly nail down the bracket, but we've got it fixed up here, and it's looking nice and pretty. We got X13 and Pride in the opening matches, so we don't have to worry about, messing up the bracket here this time. We're all good. Everything's fine, guys. This is first take Exner, of course, is a classic. But I talked a little bit about this, and I think that X13 and Pride, this is going to be a great matchup, these two teams. I think that there's a lot of potential here for Pride to pull off an upset. But X13, they have a pretty stacked roster. I was looking at it. They've got the best dopper in advanced, in my opinion, and some other people's opinion as well, and Atomic. So wouldn't be surprised if this was going to go X13's way. But I think Pride, they can put up a decent fight here. And so I'm going to say 2-1. Should be a great game, though. That'll be a fun one to watch for sure. But I think X13 are going to move on. And again, ignore the seeding, guys. This seeding is all messed up, but the bracket is correct. So we've got the big deal. T Villainous versus UIU. This one is also going to be an interesting matchup. Going into playoffs, UIU has been in great form. I think they really hit a nice stride. But Villainous, on the other hand, I think they're one of the kind of dark horse teams, in that sense that they should be able to make it a good distance. They came into this as the 12th seed, and I think that was surprising to me. At the beginning of the season, they were really hitting a hot streak. They had a rough couple of losses, one of them being an insane OT loss to Pride. So I think they have the capability of pulling off a serious run, and I think that Team Villainous will be one of the teams that we see in relegation this season. But I'll go ahead and say that UIU are taking a map because, again, they hit a great stride going into this this playoff season, and even in their matchup versus Valkyrie, that was a tough team to take down. Valkyrie was one of the number 4 seed, I believe. So sitting them down to the lower bracket is pretty huge for UIU. So yeah, that's that. Kinship versus Upswing. This one I think is going to be just a straight up 2-0 for Kinship. Upswing, apparently from my Twitch chat, my lovely Twitch chat, backing me up here. I asked a little bit about them, and they said that Upswing just has a bunch of really strong aimers on them. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at their roster and see what you got. Oh, you got Momo on this roster. That guy is an absolute menace. Okay, so now I'm seeing a little bit more as to what's going on with this one. Here, I'll show their ESEA page on stream, or on the... Momo is such a crazy player, man. That guy is insane. This team had a rough middle patch, so that gives you a little bit of a showing as to what they are against the top teams. They actually got stomped out by Kinship in the regular season, so I think that there is a... Oh gosh, cannot see. I'm talking about something that you all can't see right now, aren't I? Here, I'll go ahead and show you now. Roster, that should work. There you go. So looking at the middle of their season, this is Upswing's roster here, and they're playing Kinship. You can see that against some of the top teams, X13, Laboratory Services, Valkyrie, Kinship, and Triton, these are all playoff teams. They struggled a little bit. So they started off hot, but once those wins started to stack up and they had to play the tougher teams, they definitely did struggle a little bit. So I think this is going to be 2-0 Upswing. I think they get sent to the lower bracket here. Go ahead and save that one, hopefully. There we go. And so we have already, we just watched Carr versus Triton tonight, and Carr got 2-0'd, so that's why I'm not going to cover that one. Is Triton just looking really strong today? It seemed like Carr, they could have got something done on Nuke, but weren't able to close out, so essentially just lost out on that game. So into the lower bracket we go. Headshot Kings versus Eros, which I will be casting tomorrow, twitch.tv slash Team Arrows GG. Go and leave that one a follow as well, because that's where I'll be casting some of these advanced games. But go ahead and take a look at this one. Headshot Kings versus Arrows. This one's tough to say. I think that Arrows were looking very promising versus Pride, which I think are one of the better teams in advanced this season. So Headshot Kings, I don't know. This is really hard for me. I need to take a look at what Headshot Kings season looked like. They came in barely scraping by for this season of advanced. They ended it off just barely making it into the season, and as you can see, they actually got stomped out in the regular season. Now, of course, it's different, but oh, Lemons isn't playing? Okay. So they're probably playing with a stand-in, which would be, who would that be? Talon? Not Talon, right? No, Talon is main. They're playing with Bolt, aren't they? Dalton, okay. I mean, not the worst stand-in, for sure, but that definitely does suck. But yeah, that's going to be, I think that'll be a 2-0 for Arrows. I think that is going to be, yeah. 2 hours in the past 2 weeks is what Drew said, so I don't think they'll be moving forward. I think that making it to playoffs is an accomplishment for this Headshot Kings roster. It was a tragedy that they didn't make it into Premier and relegation last season, but you know, it is what it is, and unfortunate this season so far is going to be the case here. I think this will end their playoff runs. Laboratory Services versus Valkyrie. Now, this is actually one of the better matchups here. It's a 4th and 5th seed in the lower bracket, because both teams got upsetted. So this one's tough as well, because Laboratory Services rocking with a pretty decent roster, but I think I have faith in my man Kojomo. That guy is dedicated. I want to see him in Premier as well. I was a little bit disappointed to see them lose out in their opening match, but you know, I think that this will be a surprising end. I don't think a lot of people expected Laboratory Services to do too much, but I think that they'll get taken down here from Valkyrie, and it's unfortunate that this match with the seeding is just so happens to be 2 upsets that have been taken on. So next up, we've got SH Esports versus Team Virum, and SH I don't think is a team I truly, and I'll be honest, I don't know anything about. I haven't watched them play at all. And I'll take a look. Okay, so this is why. This is Slaughterhouse 5 during the regular season, and I think before that they were Brigada at one point, so that's why I haven't heard of them. They changed their name. Okay, so I do know a lot about this roster, though, and this roster is definitely one of the more impressive ones. I think that they've had a lot of nice wins, and if they go into the server feeling hot, then this should be a pretty decent game. They've got players like Clip Sanity, which that guy has always impressed me. Is that like old Homer? If someone in chat can confirm that that's Homer at one point with a changed name. But they also have like Hyena and Fatality. So this roster's pretty stacked, to be honest. And taking on Verum, who also has a stacked roster. This team was the old Veloz roster from last season, and I casted a lot of them. I thought it was also criminal that they didn't make it into Premier. I was very surprised to see that they weren't able to do so, but I'm going to give them a decent chance. I think that Verum are going to take this, though. I think that this will be a 2-1, and I think this will be another really fun match to play with. But if SH is playing with hitting some strides in playoffs, I think that they will have a decent chance at upsetting. And finally, Yini Cherry versus Infinity. And this one I'm going to give over to Infinity. I think that they can beat Infinity. I don't know if that's like a crazy take. I think Yini Cherry, they had a great regular season. They started out with a 0-4 run, though, And when you start out with a 0-4-1, those next, 6 or so wins, they come a lot easier, as you don't have to play the top tier opponents. You get to relax more often. I think some of their regular season wins weren't as much of impressive. But yeah, I think this will be a 2-0. I think that Cherry, their seeding is kind of based off of their rough start to the season, and so I'll go ahead and say 2-0 right there. And I guess I'll continue with the lower bracket, and I'll kind of even out here. So we got Carr versus Eros, and this matchup, it's tough to say. I feel like Carr didn't put up the best fight taking on Triton, but their victory versus Cherry also, I think, was a little bit, again, it's not crazy. Like Cherry, again, I mentioned their start to the season, it allows for an easier playoff run. It's kind of a huge flaw in ESEA. I don't know if they're ever gonna work on that, but they certainly need to. So, ESEA, if you're watching this, nail that one down. But either way, I think that card, their win versus Cherry, it was alright, but Eros, they looked like they were taking pride to the brink in a lot of these rounds. They ran out of steam on Nuke, and they haven't played Nuke too much, but I think that Eros will be able to move on from this one. I think it'll be a 2-1 though. I think that series will deliver. So we'll move on to Upswing versus Valkyrie, and again, my boy Kojomo, he's coming into this game motivated. I've seen a lot of promise out of this roster, and I think that they were going to be feeling very strong. I just a motivation factor, man. Whenever I see players build themselves up on social media and stuff like Kojomo does, I put a lot of respect on them, because not only does it create yourself a decent bit of pressure, gets you in the right mindset going to matches. He seems like he's the type of guy that comes into matches with some serious. He takes himself seriously, and that's exciting to see for North American CS. It reminds me, and I'm not saying that this is like exactly the case for Kojomo, but the same sort of energy and like winning spirit that we saw from Stewie when he was on the rise. So I'm hoping that he can pull off a similar scoreline. Now, still very long way to go to match Stewie 2K's ability, but I'll go ahead and say that one's going to be a 2-0. Now, UIU versus Team Virum. And this one, it's kind of tricky to nail down. And that's because Virum, I don't really know what to expect from them too much at certain points in time. They have also had that 0-3 or 0-3 start to the season, which allowed for them to play some easier teams at the beginning of the season. But they did finish strong. They have a win versus Valkyrie in the regular season that we'll take a look at here. So it truly is. This one could be hit or miss. And I never know what to expect from this roster. They've got such a strong roster. They've been playing together for a while. I think that their only substitute was that they no longer have Eris, and they've brought back Mills into the main lineup, I believe. What's their main five? Pendulum, Chu, Scottio, Mills. Yeah. So Paladin, I don't know if he's playing. Actually, let me check their roster. Yeah, so Paladin's not playing. It's Ajax, and Ajax has been a rifler that's always impressed me. You can see that he got Momo diffed in this one, though. Momo's a god, man. That guy's stats are crazy. I actually want to see these next couple games. Momo top frag, even though they lost, and then what did Momo top frag here? Okay, no, he took a break in map 3, and his teammates stepped up to play. So, I'll go ahead and say, that this one, it's truly about form. And I think that Virum, they will take this one 2-1. I don't know. This one's very difficult. Man. I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going with my gut. It's a little bit of heart in there as well. because UIU have been coming into this playoff season. I said it before. They came into it with some serious heat, but yeah, I think that's gonna be the end. I don't know. Again, it could swing either way. But Pride versus Infinity, and I think this is gonna be an easy 2-0 for Pride here. Not much question about that one. Infinity, a good team, but I don't think they'll be able to get the better of them. So we're evened out here, so I'll go back up to the upper bracket. X13 versus Team Villainous. And this one's going to deliver. I think this one's actually going to be a 2-1, where Team Villainous gets sent down to the lower bracket. But X13 I think truly that will be a great game. It'll be fun to watch, and we'll see a lot of nuts players in that matchup. But I do think that X13 are going to take the cake in that one and move on. And then Kidship versus Triton, which will also be another interesting one here. Triton looked very, very promising on Nuke Vertigo. That seems like they have themselves a decent map pool. Even though Carr picked Nuke, their CT sides looked very strong, which hints to me that they know how to play Nuke in a very good fashion. CT sides rotations are hard to nail down, so the fact that they have that under their belt shows that they've developed map pools. They have good structure. So I got high expectations for Triton. But the question is, can they take on Kinship? And it depends a lot on again, current form, as a lot of these matches will, because Kinship seems to be a roster, at least to me, that can be hit or miss. I see a lot of worrying things from them sometimes, where they're like, I'm not sure if they're going to be together. I'm not sure if they're sticking together. But so far, it seems like they've been holding off strong. J-Dubs has always impressed me on this roster. Take a look at some of their. I mean, Vayne, he's an IGL that I do have some faith in. I think that he's a pretty legit guy. He knows how to call. He's got MDL experience as well. So, Exner, what's going on? You're trolling. If you don't have Triton winning advanced, you're trolling. Okay. Well, here's some troll for you. I think that Triton will lose versus Kinship. Hey, it's not no dissing right there. I just look at this roster and I look at, you got Vayne, which he's not like the craziest player, but he's got IGLing experience in Premier MDL at the time when he was playing. J-Dubs, who I know is capable of so much. I think he's hit somewhat of a low here recently, but he can go crazy. Poison, I've seen him for the past couple seasons knock some heads off. And I know a little bit about Creed. I think he also played for GGPR. I'm not sure if he ever made it to the Premier roster. I think he did for a little bit. I know he played at least in a couple of games, maybe even as a stand-in. And then Halo, of course, is someone we all know. But again, it kind of does come down a little bit to how they feel. No mean to diss you in front of your girl, but you still got the lower bracket going for you. Extra, don't ban me again. Okay. All right. Eros versus Valkyrie, and so this one, a tough matchup. But again, I'm gonna say that at the end of the day here, I think that Valkyrie's a better team, and I'm expecting a strong lower bracket run from these boys. I want to see Valkyrie in Premier, I really do, and so I think they're gonna pull off a crazy lower bracket run. I will say I think that Eros can take a map off of them, but this is another scenario where Eros are taking on a really tough team, and while they were able to take Pride to the brink, I don't think they will be able to hold it off early. Imagine trying to pick a favorite team to win advanced instead of an underdog. Yes, prove me wrong. That's kind of the best response I can have to not necessarily dissing, but saying that teams are gonna lose. It's always tricky because you never know, man. I respect it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I appreciate some people do not respect it. Some people have bits about it, but I appreciate it. Team Verum taking on Pride. This one's gonna be another good matchup. I think this will actually be a little bit easier here for Pride though. I think they'll be able to 2-0 Team Verum. I think that this comes down to the inconsistencies of Verum. I think that that's kind of an issue of them. So I think that they'll be able to take this team down. So as much as I want to see, I like Verum, man. I like them as a team. I like that they stuck together throughout the season, despite just barely missing the mark. A lot of advanced teams, after they miss Premier at the end of the season, they just fall apart. But what Verum did was they made one adjustment, and a very minor adjustment. I think that it was a nice one. They picked up, I believe it was Ajax in place of Eris, and I thought that was a great move. Overall, I don't think that Eris, I think that he just kind of retired, so. Or not, maybe not retired. Did he switch to Valorant Eris? I feel like he did. I know he's in an advanced roster right now, but I thought he was I thought he's playing Valorant. Either way. Once again, we are evened out here, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with the consolidation right here. Put on. Yes, Aaron. Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and move this to the side as well. And we've got Valkyrie versus Villainous. And this gets really tricky right here. Valkyrie versus Villainous. These two teams, I'm pretty sure played in the regular season. I want to see how that one ended out. Where is it? Did they play in the regular season? Oh yes, there it is. So this was a loss, but it went into OT, and so you can see that they took it close. I think this was a bad game for Matthew, wasn't it? Like, let's see. No, it wasn't necessarily even a bad game. Kojomo went hard in this one. And not to say that results can't repeat themselves, but I think that'll play a factor in this one. I think that I'm gonna give this one to Valkyrie. I think. Again, I love the storyline of Kojomo moving forward, grinding his way through this lower bracket and make it into Premier. So, just to give a little background here, and I think this is accurate. I'm not 100% sure, but there is, what is it? 4 spots in Premier relegation tournament for advanced teams. So it will be Valkyrie that have now made it according to my predictions, and then I will say, oh man, this one's another hard one. Oh man. Triton versus Pride. So man, this is hard. I don't know. Here's the thing about this is that Pride have an impressive roster. Gosh. Triton, the same. I gotta look at bracket. I gotta look at if they played each other in the regular season. See, so you've lost to Pride before. That's the thing. You've lost to Pride before. And I don't know. That was with Florence? Florence. Frankie is a really good opper as well. This one's hard. I I'm going to go with my gut here. Not I'm gonna say Pride. Take this one 2-1. Ah, but hey, this is on top of the fact that this could be a little bit of confirmation bias. I've seen a lot more of Pride, or what is it? I don't know what type of bias it is. I've seen a lot more of the players on Pride over the past like 5 seasons or 3 seasons or so than I have on Triton. So to be fair, that's probably why I'm leaning Pride's way. And same with Kinship. So that is for the most part what's kind of leaning their way. That's partially why. But X13 versus Kinship, we move on. And I think this could be a 2-1. I don't know. I think X13 can 2-0. Gosh. I think it doesn't matter too much, honestly. I think Kinship aren't going to be able to beat X13, to be honest. So I think that Kinship's capable of taking a map. So I'm going to say 2-1. I think that X13 will make it with a map advantage. This also, this isn't real. I don't know how to get rid of that, though. Lucid, shut up. You don't know that yet. You don't know that yet. You beat Valkyrie this season? Well, guess what? You're not going to beat him in in consolidation finals. Valkyrie 2-1. Sorry, Drew. I've got this I've got this idea in my head that Valkyrie are gonna pull off this crazy lower bracket run. Just kidding. I think this is where Valkyrie's season ends. I just wanted to mess with you, Drew. Then we got Kinship versus Pride in the consolidation. Extra's filming a. So I think that Kinship will take this one. I think this is where your run ends here, Drew. I have a lot of faith in Kinship and their players. But yeah, this is where your run ends. You lose to Halo at the end of it. So finals. Map advantage for X13. You guys are going to be so mad when I'm exactly right. It's going to be so sad for you all when my predictions come out perfectly. I'm going a little bit with my heart here. You are so wrong. Guys, just wait. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. But I think that X13 are going to take this one 3-0. Heart don't feed the family, Cole, but YouTube content sure does. Okay, I think I just got a donation on Twitch, but I gotta check what it is because I don't have notifications up during my casts. I probably should if I'm doing these sort of stuff. Let's see. You're so lost that I could show you a map and give you directions and you still go in the wrong direction. Yeah. I mean, I know you've gotten to the end of the video before I've said this, guys. And this is on purpose. I know that we've already finished off the video. I think that actually Kinship will take a map or two. I think it'll be a little bit interesting. Kinship win. You know what? I'm going with Vindy. I don't know. I want to see J-Dubs back in Premiere. I don't think he got a great shot at his chances in Premiere. I think that he was underwhelming, yes, but I know his capabilities, man. He can go big. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be X13. We'll see him in relegation. 3-2 X13. I'm going with the favorites for the finisher. But guys, the reason I'm ending this this video with saying that I haven't kept up too crazy with Premiere, or sorry, with Advance, was that I haven't casted all that much. I've actually been commissioned by like Brazen, which they didn't even make Premiere. So come on now, Cody. I wasn't doing the best job of keeping up with Advanced. So I'll end my video saying that I'm not perfect. I've casted a little bit of Triton. I know that they're impressive, but yeah, I do think that that my predictions will be spot on perfection. But guys, thank you all so much for watching the video. Everyone tuning into the stream, thank you all for tuning in as well. And yeah, coin flip for the matches for the most part. But that is all I have for you guys. Leave a like and subscribe. Go and show some love. ! YouTube for all you in my Twitch stream, and for all you on my YouTube, go and follow my Twitch stream because I'll be casting. And follow my Twitter as well at Extra20. You can see it down below. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Peace out. Have a wonderful night.